When you're doing inspections, it's always nice to know what type of slab it is, because it kind of dictates how termites are going to get into the home. But these here, this house here is a floating slab, which basically means all these walls sit on an outside crack. So we want to focus on that, on the outside walls. For how you can tell, see a little split right there? And that is there because the crack runs all the way around except for where the doors are. They leave that more monolithic, and that explains that little crack right there. Even the interior walls we want to take seriously too, because unfortunately what makes floating slabs susceptible is they do tend to crack more than other types of slabs. So it is possible to see them on an interior wall, but it's usually, if we find termites, it's usually near on an outside wall. And then of course we have plumbing too, which protrudes through the slab. And plumbers come in and install the plumbing before the concrete's even poured. So naturally the pipes are gonna stick up, and when you pour concrete around it, you're gonna be left with a little gap there. Look at all the shutters when possible. So anytime we run into a situation like this here, it looks like you can, in other words, this whole thing here is a middle wall here. So what we don't want to do is continue going to the left. You notice I was going to the left? Mm-hmm. I want to continue doing that by coming back around. Otherwise, this area would be missed. A lot of times you can actually, in this case here, we just see the wood vanity on the back side, but a lot of times you can see drywall. Okay, so we have some termite activity up here. See these little pinholes? Right there. All these little dots are the beginnings of a shelter tube. So we see this a lot, where the mirror comes all the way down. You can't see anything, obviously. But I do look, a lot of times I'll see where the tube behind the mirror has broken off, and you can see little dust flakes here. Looks good here though. Behind toilets when I can. Even on a floating slab, when you have a rounded wall like this, usually it's going to be a monolithic pour. So this area, which means one concrete truck, just did it that way. So yeah, you wouldn't have a crack here on this wall. Doesn't mean the termites can't get to it. You know, monolithic slabs do crack. But it's just the way they pour the concrete in these areas. But so another way you could tell what type of slab it is sometimes is looking in the garage or looking at the garage floor. You can see the separation between the slab and the stem wall. That's how the pretty much the whole house sits. Has the same type of crack. So it's true, we see tubes in the garage quite a bit when we're doing actual quotes. A lot of termite guys down here will tell people, because it's a common area. Termites have no idea it's a garage. The reason why there's tubes in the garage is because in most cases you can see the stem wall. So when I see 12 tubes on a stem wall in a garage and nothing can be found inside, I recommend a full stem wall treatment in addition to a vertical treatment. That activity is old because you can see how they drilled through the stem wall to get the chemical up underneath the crack, which is the correct way to do it. This here, this area here, another area that's very susceptible for termites. This is what we call, contractors would call a bump out. So in other words, they did this portion here after the house is built. So the crack is actually sitting underneath this wall. So if there was ever a problem in this side, you couldn't drill through the stem wall because you wouldn't be getting it underneath the crack. You'd have to go inside and down drill that area. So I've seen situations where the guy had tubes in the garage on the stem wall on the inside and nothing out here. But it's kind of hard to tell in this garage because he has a lot of items on this side of the wall. But yeah, there's a huge void up underneath here too. So I've seen houses where we actually had to drill through this way. And basically we're splattering chemical on the actual stem wall. That crack right there, that's how you can tell they're floating. Yeah, when you have a post-tension or monolithic slab, you don't have the little cuts on the doors because it's all monolithic.